Raider Nation, what is going on? Some of you guys are going to be listening to this in podcast form, but for the select special few here, actually quite a few now already in the chat, are going to be listening to this and watching live on YouTube. It's going to be a live stream on YouTube. And shout out to the live chat already getting active. Larry Fleming coming in first. We got all three of our moderators. I see Brian in there, the Raider Critique. All you guys, shout out. I should have the chat actually working on the video feed again. And you should, for the first time, be able to see this lovely background of some amazing Raider jerseys in this brand new studio that's going in. So this week, we're kind of just, getting back into the swing of things. This is my second time back on the mic after maybe a little over a month. It's been a long time. And joining me now, a special guest, a guy that's been on maybe more than anyone at this point. This might be, besides Kenny King, this might be the second most honorary guest on the show, Eddie Borsilli. Eddie, what's going on, man?
Cody, what's up, man? To be mentioned with Kenny King, I feel honored just to be mentioned in the same breath. But it's a pleasure to be here tonight, talking Raiders football. It's been a long time, man. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. It's been, a little rough off season as a football fan. Obviously, this isn't exactly what we expected. I think Raider Nation can all agree. This is where we're like scratching for every little ounce of video clip. Like, we're looking for that 3-second clip of, maybe like a Henry Ruggs, or we're looking for, like a Damon Arnett or something out there on the practice field. Just, like running around cones. Like, it doesn't even matter what it is. Like, we're just scratching for whatever. And we don't get that right now. So we're patiently waiting. We're sitting here as football fans, as diehard football fans, probably, the most dedicated fan base in the world. And we're, kind of left hanging right now. So this is kind of what we're stuck with, Eddie. This is they're stuck with us. They're stuck listening to us right now. We're the only content out there, I guess.
Hey, listen, man. Like I said before, I mean, right now in the sports world, look, we're all going through it right now. We're going through a pandemic. We're going through crazy times in the world right now. We could all use a little NFL OTAs, like you said, guys on the practice field, getting out there, catching passes, looking amazing. We're not going to have it. I don't expect these players to be back before training camp, let's be honest. Everything that's going on right now, they just, they have to be safe before anything else. We've never been through anything like this before. So as much as we want to see these guys on the field working out, what we did have, Cody, though, is we had the Derek Carr workout videos in Vegas. We had Derek Carr working out with Zay Jones, working out with Alec Ingold. We had John Simpson on SiriusXM NFL Radio saying he was out there listening to Derek Carr's cadence and getting used to Derek Carr's cadence.
There we go.
So you had guys, and that's going to be the new, and I hate this term more than anybody else in the world, but I'm going to say it. Don't hold me against it. The new normal is guys taking their teammates out to practice fields and out to random fields to get that work in, because they're not going to get the off-season workout that they normally have. So these guys are out in Vegas throwing a football around, Carr to Zay Jones, Carr to Alec Ingold, all these guys. Darren Waller was out there. So look, this team is putting in work. They're getting used to each other. It might not be in the team fashion we're used to seeing, but these guys are out there putting in the work, and I appreciate that, to be honest.
Oh, that's amazing, right? This is something we're not used to. We've talked about this, the new regime, this locker room culture changing thing that we saw with Reggie McKenzie trying to instill later with that 2016 draft, right? Bringing in like the Gabe Jackson, the Derek Carr, stuff like that. That was able to change the culture of the locker room a little bit. Now, bringing in John Gruden, Mike Mayock, it feels like it's finally kind of in full swing, because it's not just those few star players that are out there working. It's the entire team. I'm out there watching our fullback working his tail off. Like you said, John Simpson out there tying in with the rest of the offensive line as soon as possible. And he's out there working out with, correct me if I'm wrong, you might know who the guys are better than me, but like Colton Miller, a few of those guys. He
was out there with Colton Miller. He was out there with a bunch of other guys. He was out there with Andre James and a couple of the offensive linemen. And, you're right, man. I mean, it takes – when new coaches and new GMs take over football teams, it takes a while to you see it around the NFL, and everybody, all the fans see it out there all the time. It takes years to put your roster together that you want. So a coach takes over. He's not going to want certain guys on his football team. He's going to want his guys. It takes years. So Gruden going into year 3, Mayock going into year 2, they're putting the team together that they want. This is going to be a team. And I'll say this. this offseason, if it proves anything, it's going to prove that the teams that have new head coaches or a different, say, a team that changes the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, they're going to be behind the eight ball because they're not going to be able. They're zooming and they're meeting virtually, and I get it, and it works. But the teams with consistency and continuity, like the Raiders have, with a third year, going to Gruden third year with Derek Carr being around for as long as he has, those are the teams that are going to be successful because they don't need to install new offense. They don't need to install new things. These guys know what it is. You just take what the foundation's been for the past 2 years and you add the rookies and you add the new free agents on top of it, and you hope it's successful. But, from everyone that we've talked to this offseason, the mantra has been the teams that have stable head coaches, the teams that have had, the same playbook, Carr going on to his third season with Gruden, they're going to be the most successful. That's the most exciting thing to me, that the pandemic has caused everybody to go, it's been a burden for everybody. But the teams with consistency are the teams that are going to rise to the top, especially early on in the season.
Agreed. And this is kind of, I think, the time where we're, year 3 of Gruden? Derek's going to, now, year 7. This is where we're expecting, kind of that continuity to really be paying off and them really being on the same page. You can already see, I think, from year 1 to year 2, offensive coordinator, of course, and Derek Carr seemed to be kind of a little bit more on the same page quite a bit, actually. It seemed like, he's pretty happy even with the running game, all the different play calls, all the different shifts, all the adjustments that he was making at the line. Seems like they seem to be on the same page. So this is where all that should be paying off, and hopefully now, even with the defensive coordinator coming in, we have Rod Marinelli coming in, even bringing in players that are, kind of comfortable with him. So hopefully there's continuity more on the defense and some more playmakers on that side of the ball. I will say, as you're bringing up coaches, they were finally allowed back in the building on Friday among the NFL, but
lucky them. I'm not allowed anywhere in New Jersey, so lucky them. I wish I can go to the facility with them, to be honest. And can we talk about the facility for a minute?
Dude,
I don't know if all you Raider fans out there, go follow Cleveland Farrell on Instagram and look at his video. The facility, look.
I got a picture here. Let's pull.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to get to it, but it's twofold. It's the structure and what they had in Oakland and Alameda was so behind the eight ball in terms of 2020 and new. It looks incredible. It looks like a place that players want to go to. So if you haven't checked it out, go to Missile Dreaming's Instagram right now and look at it because it's incredible.
It's crazy. We might have the best stadium football, but we for sure have the best headquarters in football. I think it's crazy how much effort and detail and stuff that they put into just the design of that too. It's weird, it's something that we're not used to. But I will say, on top of that, they also announced, right, that training camp has to be held at team facilities.
Dude, this hits me so hard. This is Napa is like my Disney World. It's like my happy place, like Happy Gilmore. Go to your happy place. Like Napa, forever. I've been there 6 or 7 times for Raider training camp. It's literally one of my favorite places in the world. And I understand why they can't have it in Napa. I get it. They need to have it in Henderson. But can we pour one out for the Napa training camp? Yeah. Because you have fans that go there that support the team. It's a unique setup. It's in Napa frickin' Valley of all places. So I am sad a little bit that it's not going to be in Napa. Hopefully maybe they can go back for one more time just to do a little, bon voyage, if you will. But let's pour one out for the Napa Marriott because that's a unique training camp. If you've ever been there, it's an incredible place.
Oh, beautiful place too. Absolutely. Now it depends on the time you go, but it does get pretty freaking hot over there. But besides that, it's one of those things that, you can pick and choose your battles. Shout out, actually, we have a super chat here, Son Joku. Thanks for the donation. We appreciate that. Studio looks awesome. Thank you. Appreciate the kind words. Like I said, again, shout out Son Joku. Man, yeah, you're right. Napa. Shout out to Kenny King. I even went through with Matt Fallon. Last time we went down there, me and my dad made the trip. Well, that wasn't, I guess, the last time I was there, but we made the trip down there. We went and ate at the Squeeze In, had ourselves a good burger with the famous, the cheese skirt and all of that. It's a good place. And I will say, if we're not going to go back to Napa, can Charles Woodson please build like a tasting room than on
seriously.
in the Henderson area.
We saw him at the Super Bowl last year in Miami, and we said the same thing to him. Like, it's long overdue to have a Charles Woodson, tasting room. And I know he's got certain spots and they're kind of hidden away, but he needs to make either trek out to Vegas and build a spot out there, or make a one halfway there, because we need a little more 24 wines in our lives, because his wine is absolutely incredible.
See, was amazing, man. Legendary like the career, man. I'm telling you.
He really is, man.
It's good stuff, man. Napa, yeah. Shout out to Napa. That's me the last thing. And you know what's weird is I remember John saying that they hope to have training camp in Napa for many years to come. You know what I mean? Not just this season. It sounded like it's going to be for a while. So do you see maybe a possibility of, once, of course, we expect next year's restrictions to be back to normal. Sure. Could we be back to Napa for a few years?
I think it is. I'm a big fan. I'm a big proponent of, I went to 19 training camps last year around the country. I'm a big fan of the training camp that's not at the team facility. So, we go to Buffalo and it's at St. John Fisher College, and we go to Latrobe for the Steelers, and it's not at their facility, because you get a different feel. You get a more, I don't know how to explain it, but it's, when you go there, it's more of a collegey feel. It's more of a, I don't know, it's like a family feel, if you will, when it's not at the facility. When it's at the facility, it's guys are coming in, it's like a regular day of work, they're coming in, maybe they live around the facility, but when it's not there, these guys are packed away. You picture them sleeping in dorm rooms together, even though they're not. But I'm a big proponent and a fan of training camp away from the facility, even though the facility in Henderson's incredible and they probably should be there, every single day of the year. I'm a fan of going there for a couple weeks just to get away, because you know why? It builds team camaraderie. As corny as that is, it really does. You get to know guys, and you get to build that chemistry. The Napa Marriott for the Raiders is so incredible. They got everything they need there. They're so used to it. So they came out and said, obviously not this year. They would be willing to go back next year. I know the Marriott would have them. I'll bet money tonight, June 6, 2020, that when we're talking next year, they're going back to the Napa Marriott just to get that little sense of team building for a couple weeks, if you will.
I'd enjoy that. That's a little bit better for me too, to be able to drive over there instead of a 6-hour drive. I can go maybe like 4, something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Shout out to the chat, staying active. Appreciate you guys always tuning in. And for those of you, like I said, listening to the podcast right now, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and catch us. Usually, I think I'm shooting for Saturday nights at 8:30 p.m., just like what we've been doing lately this off season. And then remember, we're going to be going live at every post game, every game, no matter what it is. There's a few that we're going to go to, so we might be a little delayed. But as soon as the game's over, we're going to be going live on YouTube. We're going to be recording a podcast right there. Eddie, thanks again, man, for jumping on. Next, I got a few more topics here I want to talk about. One of them was, we can't get through a single off season without some sort of superstar scare. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just the last 2 years. Star wide receiver stuff is crazy. This one, I think, was just nothing, right? Just a little hiccup. But, we have a little, I think, PTSD whenever it comes to stuff like this as Raider fans. We struggle with these topics.
So can we get before you finish it, can we get like a GoFundMe page to help Henry Ruggs' friend, whoever the hell it was that needed moving, to get him a moving company? I mean, for the love of God, I know he probably wants to be a good friend. Can we get the guy a moving company? Let's do a GoFundMe page, Cody. Come on, let's do it here. Get some donations.
Or can we rally up and send a truck down to Raider Nation to go move the stuff for him? I mean, hey, Henry, we'll help you out. We'll take your place. Go sit down. We'll get you some lemonade. You go sit on the bench. And we'll move your buddies. Yeah, that's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And just such a almost, I don't want to say it's like covered up, but it's like one of those things he's a young kid. Probably did something kind of goofy, doesn't want to put it out. And we're just kind of left in this situation what the heck happened? And, it was last week, it was reported that he was on crutches. And that was scary. It's like, okay, crap, it's that bad where he's on crutches. Obviously, I think it was just to take the pressure off so he didn't cause any more, stress to whatever puncture he had. Yeah. Today, I think I saw a picture on his Instagram. Looked fine. He was standing there. Didn't look like the leg was wrapped up. He was wearing some shorts. Nothing too severe. Maybe just taking some time off, letting it heal up, and hopefully just get back on the practice field, right, Eddie?
But it's like what you said though. It's like as soon as you hear it, and as soon as I got kind of wind of the injury, you hold your breath because you're like, oh my god, man, like,
Yeah.
what could it be? Because as soon as you start thinking, you don't know it's a moving action. You're like, oh man, was he practicing? Did he do something bad? And it's kind of funny the point you made earlier about off-season program. Obviously, if the Raiders off-season program was going on, he would not be able to take part in it. So
Yeah.
he'd be on the sideline. Gruden would give him stuff about the injury and that kind of stuff. And that's kind of the stuff you miss about it. He'd be on the sideline with his leg wrapped up and not be able to run. And Gruden would be like, listen, look at you, man. You can't even get out here to practice, blah, 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 blah. So you kind of miss that stuff. But you're right, man. After everything this team has been through in free agency with wide receivers and the player that we will not name by name last year, at first when you hear it, you hold your breath and you're like, please just be okay. And then you see the story and it's like, he'll be okay. He'll be okay for training camp and he'll be on the field, but it could have been a lot worse, man. Like it could have been a lot worse. Like things could have, a couple inches here, a couple inches there, and it's like those freak injuries. As a football fan, you're just like, man, if he was on the field and he broke his leg, knock on wood, or he did something like that, you're like, all right, you know what? That's football and it happens. But to be moving and helping your buddy out or whatever, and that happened, you're like, damn, man, are we cursed here? Like, this guy's going to miss his entire rookie season because he's moving a couch out of his buddy's apartment?
The thing is, it's sad because it's almost like, I don't want to say it sounds believable, but it's like, it almost wouldn't even surprise me at this point. It's like, it's just bad stuff, just like bound to happen. And let's hope, that's it right there. That's our, to the NFL gods out there, that's our bad juju. It's out of the way. We got that done.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. And you hope, like, hey, listen, training camp, but you know what's going to happen. I'll just say this to Raider Nation out there: just be prepared for yourselves. Like I said, it's June 6th. We have about 2 months until training camp. Ruggs will probably not start, and he'll probably be brought in slow for training camp. Don't freak out. How fans, we're as fans, we're all going to be nervous and blah blah blah. Let him take his time. Let him heal up. Let him be good. Like, there's no reason to rush him out there. But yeah, like I said, it's scary, especially in today's society when people are supposed to be staying home and doing their part to do all this. That he gets hurt in that freak way. But let's just knock on wood that he's okay, because let's be honest, Cody, this dude needs to be an impact player from day one. So he needs to be on the field all 16 this year.
Yeah, he's one of those like 3 key weapons that we added to our entire offense. Shout out to the chat. I saw someone coming through. Phil Carson, last year had an awesome pod with Mad Max. He sounded sold on that guy post-interview. Who gives you that feeling so far this year? Yes, I did sound sold on Mad Max last year. A little biased because once you get to know a player personally, you just constantly root for him. Turned out to be
Max at his tattoo, man. How about that?
Hey, how about that? That's a good topic right there, right? He's got the shield. Now we have Josh Jacobs with the shield and Cleveland Farrell with the shield. Man, how about this? See, and that's, we get back to this topic again.
This guy's buying in, man. This guy's soaking it all in. And you know what the best part about it is? Guys that respect the tradition and respect the history of this football team enough to put that stuff on their body. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. That's guys not just collecting a paycheck, not just going out there. That's guys putting ink on their body and saying, you know what, Raider Nation, Raiders for life. Let's do this. Like, that is the ultimate to me. Like, ultimate buy-in for guys. I'm so into that.
Yeah, there's guys that don't even sometimes want to play for the organization that they get drafted by. Cough 89. There's a couple guys on here like names that I don't even want to name, because I feel like I got this new studio. I feel like it could just like burst into flames, like talking about him on a Raider show at this point. But he's asking kind of like who I'm feeling for this year. And Eddie, I'll lobby this to you too. But I'm just going to kind of go with the same theme that I had last year. I felt really good. I had a chance to talk to Mad Max. He was super willing to jump on the show last year and get involved. Obviously, he's very plugged in. Got the freaking Raider Shield tattoo. This one, I'm already seeing in the chat. Shout out to the chat, actually, because you guys know me so well. It's obviously Amik Robertson, another fellow 4th-round pick, a dude that's just filled with so much emotion for the game and seems to be super grateful to be drafted by the Raiders, and a guy that I think that's going to go out there and pay off for us. He's one of those picks that you, really, I don't think can go wrong with at this point. So
I got a name.
I'm going to
make. I think it's honestly, to me, I think it's Brian Edwards.
Ooh, I like that.
And I'm not saying that Henry Ruggs is not going to be the guy, because I think Ruggs is going to be the stud, but I think that Edwards has so much upside for this football team. And you look at the wide receiver position. If anybody is a Raider fan, look at the wide receiver. What happened last year? This team needs the type of playmaker. So Ruggs gives you the speed and gives you that kind of element. And you still got Tyrell and you still got Hunter. But I think Edwards is the X factor for a couple of reasons. One, the red zone. I think this guy could come in day one, be a red zone guy that can catch touchdowns. I'll put it on paper, and I keep referencing the date. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'll keep referencing the date. 6/6/2020, Brian Edwards will have 6 touchdowns or more in 2020. Okay, this guy's going to come in and be an impactful guy. He's going to be a good receiver in this league for a long time. And he might be Tyrell's replacement in a couple years, but this guy's got a ton of ability. The injury history kind of followed him around in college, kind of bit him in the ass a little bit, but he is a player that Gruden's going to get the most out of. He's a Gruden type of guy. I expect big things from him in 2020. I'm excited about him.
That's good stuff. I'm a little cautiously optimistic about you throwing a 3rd 6 on the date, but we'll roll with it. That's okay.
Yeah, man. I didn't pick up on that, man. 2020's got enough bad juju's in it. I don't need to throw any more on that, man. Jeez.
We're gonna one up at 7. We're gonna 7 touchdowns, man. That's good stuff. Now, okay. You'd mentioned earlier we're talking offensive linemen obviously getting plugged in, and there's drills out there in practice. This is kind of the last topic I want to close out with, Eddie, and really all these guys being plugged. Out there doing drills that they really don't need to be doing with Derek. Yeah. He's out there throwing with his receivers, and they're out there just for fun. They don't get no practice blocking air. You know what I mean? So we see the way the additions that they added. Obviously, there's a piece in the draft. We locked up Denzel Good. We shored up, pretty much the interior offensive line all the way. Gabe Jackson was probably the one question mark coming into this. Yeah. And although I've been a guy that's wanted to keep Gabe around this entire time, there's even a part of me early in the offseason, I'm like, as much as we're making a move to interior offensive lineman, is he going to be the guy? Well, June 1st, obviously, that was pretty much locked in. He's going to be the guy for now. How do you feel about this offensive line now as a whole? Obviously, we had a little bit of a rotation last year, but how do you feel about this offensive line as a whole and what they're going to bring to the table in 2020?
See, and it goes back to my point earlier about the continuity, man. You look at, and I was the same way about Gabe Jackson. You didn't know, but we had Paul Alexander on the show too, talk about he loved John Simpson as a player, but he said John Simpson's got stuff to work on. He's a year away. Once he gets into the lineup, he'll be a 10-year starter, but he's about a year away. But the offensive line is a group, and again, no real key, guys leaving, guys coming. You have the same basic offensive line that was, playing last year, coming back this year. Again, it goes back to that continuity factor. These guys know each other. They know their rotations. They know what they want to do. You have Colton going into his 3rd year that can excel into a better player. For my money, the interior with Gabe, Rodney, and Richie is the best in football. And you can't tell me any different. And Trent Brown is an absolute stud at right tackle. He just doesn't give up sacks. He doesn't do anything. He's got to stay healthy. I get that. But to bring back all those guys, to draft the John Simpson. Again, you mentioned it. Bring back some guys for depth. For my money, there's no excuses. This is one of the best offensive lines in football. My guys, Jim Miller and Pat Kerwin on Moving the Chains, Sirius XM NFL Radio, they did a breakdown of every offensive line group, all the depth charts, all 32 teams. They had the Raiders 4th out of all 32 teams in the National Football League in terms of offensive line. It speaks for itself. Yeah. Talent is there for this group. This group is one of the elite groups in the NFL, staying healthy. They have the backups to do it. You mentioned Denzel Good and guys like that. There's no reason this group can't play like they did in 2016 when they only gave up less than 20 sacks, 16 sacks, I think it was. So continuity, not too many guys leaving. Let's knock on wood for health. This is one of the better offensive line groups in the league, and they're going to show it in 2020.
100%, Eddie. Shout out to the chat here. Carlos Arosio, appreciate the donation. And And you know what? You're welcome. Thank you for popping in so you can listen to my quote unquote great content. Appreciate that. We put a lot of work into this, and I appreciate Eddie for having giving us this time to make this easier on me. I can sit here and produce it, but it's a lot harder to sit here and talk the whole time and make things entertaining. So if you guys, I appreciated the conversation. I'm going to speak for the chat. Obviously, they probably enjoyed the conversation as well. Eddie here, obviously, he's executive producer of SiriusXM NFL Radio, but Eddie is, as you can tell, a very, very diehard Raider fan, no matter where he's from. A little, kind of an East Coaster, but we'll let him have it. He's, part of Raider Nation no matter what, die hard. Yep. And he has his own podcast. I dropped the link in the bio. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. It's a podcast on podcast platforms. So make sure you go in there, give him some Raider Nation love, subscribe to that channel. It's called Yards Per Attempt. You can probably search it on all your favorite podcast platforms. But like I said, anything Apple, I have it dropped in the, not the bio, but the description of this video. Make sure you go there, subscribe. Eddie, I appreciate you jumping on here, man. And, hey, as many times as I've had you on here, I keep bringing you back. I guess you should know that I really appreciate you and enjoy talking to you.
Cody, same here, man. I really, I appreciate all the nation. I appreciate everybody's love coming on and listening to Raider content. There's nothing I enjoy more than talking Raider football, to be honest. I wish I could do it 24/7. I always appreciate coming on your podcast. Appreciate the shout out, man. I hope training camp goes off with a hitch. I hope we have football. I hope we have some type of sports, man. We all need it in this country. We need to get back to some type of normalcy, man. Anytime you name it, I'll come on here and talk some Raider football.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the energy I want, Eddie. Shout out, man. We're going to close this thing out. I'm going to take a quick break provided by Blue Wire. We're not done yet, so don't go anywhere. We're going to take this quick break provided by Blue Wire. When we come back, we're going to be joined by John Vizcarra from Stage Door Casino, my guy John. So stay tuned. Give me a couple minutes. We're going to get Eddie off the phone and get John on here. Be right back. All right, let's switch this over here because we have a different caller. John, man, what's going on? I'm surprised here. I told you I'm trying to plan this thing out, and I didn't know how my conversation was going to go with Eddie. I planned this thing out. I'm like, okay, we're going to go live at 8:30, and I'm going to bring in my guy John at 9. Little did I know that I'd be calling you right at 9 on the spot. What's going on, man?
Hey, not too much, man. Saturday night here in Vegas, and Raider Nation is representing at Stage Door Casino, so we're having a blast out here.
Oh, so you got some Raider fans down there at the place right now, huh?
Yeah, we've got Black Hole Vegas, we've got Black Hole LA, we've got Raider Nation Wrecking Crew. So yeah, man, we've got a bunch of people in the house.
Good stuff, man. For those that don't know, if you listen to my show, you should know all about it. Down there, of course, in the lower right-hand side, I talk about them all the time. Stage Door Casino, man, that's going to be the spot. That's where we're going to go. Anytime I'm in Vegas, that's my spot. That's where we're playing, and Raider Nation is going to get together, just like you said. Black Hole Chapter, obviously doing some great things over there as well. And they're welcoming Raider fans better than, anything else I've seen over there so far. So, man, how do you feel we're back? I'm back running up about the same time that you guys open back up. How does it feel to kind of get the juices flowing, or in your case, I guess the alcohol flowing again?
Well, compared to what we were going to have with the draft and everything going on, it's bittersweet. I'm definitely glad that we're open. That was a long stretch of being closed. But it's like we never closed. People, once we opened up the doors, people started coming back. There wasn't this period or this lull that most experts thought it was going to be. I read all this stuff and heard all this negativity about, it's going to take Vegas years to recover. No, it's not. We'll be back and better than ever in a matter of months.
There we go. Shout out to Ricky7 in the chat. He's from Vegas. He's asking how late you're open, and I'll speak on your behalf. You're open 24/7, right?
24/7. That's right. We never run out of beer, and if we do, I've done something wrong.
Well, John's always on top of it. I can believe him on that. Now, here's the thing: is I know you guys are getting into the swing of things. Now, what do we expect? Of course, there's a vast majority of fans that are listening to the show now that aren't from Vegas. We don't make frequent trips down there. We're going to be down there for specific events. We're going to be down there for games, or we're going to be down there for preseason, or maybe some training camp if that's going to be going down, and maybe Al Davis's birthday. I don't know. We got a lot of stuff going on. What do we, if we're going to be down there, what do we expect out of Stage Door Casino special event wise?
Well, being part of Raider Nation myself, being a member of the Black Hole myself, I'm very cognizant of what the schedule is going to be. So I'm going to make sure that, for home or away games, that we're tailoring our special event schedule to really meet the needs. So what I'm thinking is that most people are going to arrive in town on Wednesday. So we're going to start the party up on Thursday. So you'll have events going on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, obviously Sunday after the game. So that's where we're at. So we're going to start partying midweek because, you know how Raider Nation is. I know how Raider Nation is. We're out there in D lot, 2 days before the game even starts, setting up the tailgate. So I plan on doing the same thing here.
That's good stuff, man. So now for you, you're obviously, like you said, very heavily rooted, been a Raider fan for a long time. Now, speaking on just like on your coworkers' behalf in the business, they're at your place. How's everybody taking on Raider Nation? How are they taking on the silver and black? Are they ready for this team? Is everyone fired up over there?
Everybody's fired up. We've got a lot of Raider fans that are already employed here, and anybody that's applying here, and that's one of the key questions, right? No, I'm kidding. But we just make sure that everybody understands what the mission is, and the mission is to support Raider Nation, and that's what we're all about. So everybody's pumped, especially with every day that we're getting these news clips from either Fox 5 or Channel 8 or Action 13, as well as Allegiant Stadium, showing us progress on the stadium. I mean, how could you not feel that energy and just be excited about it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Shout out to Michael in the chat here. He says he's going to be the newest Raiders super fan. He's calling himself the Punisher in honor of Jonathan Abram. I like that, number 24. Section 123, third row. Shout out, Michael, the Punisher. Look forward to seeing what, this is actually going to bring in, I think, a lot of new super fans and faces, because I think, just like you're saying, people are fired up, wanting to take everything on. And I just talked to, it was Vegas Sports Daily, and they're looking for ways, to get plugged in. And I don't think that a lot of people in Vegas, whether you're a fan or not, I don't think they want to skip a beat. I think they see the way that Raider Nation is, and I'm looking forward to see what kind of super fans get plugged in there immediately.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting for sure, just to see new faces and meet new people. But hey, Punisher, I'm right with you. I'm in 123 as well. I'm in row 14, so couple rows back from where you're at, but I'm sure we'll bump into each other.
Yeah, John will be throwing popcorn at you from behind you, so be on the lookout. Good stuff, man.
For sure.
John, we're going to close this thing out soon, but I want to talk a little bit about the football team. And I don't know, you're a busy businessman, and you got a lot of stuff going on there at Stage Door Casino, but I want to, kind of know your thoughts just a little bit on, the regime that John Gruden and Mike Mayock are taking over here. I saw earlier in the chat, someone had shouted out, it seemed like it had like a little bit of that, kind of 2000, the year 2000 vibe, that kind of that energy, that excitement, like you feel like something's brewing up and doing good things. And of course, it's easily tied to having John Gruden back. But, what do you think about what's going on with the actual football team and what we're going to see the product on the field?
Well, it goes back to that whole thing, dare we hope? Dare we hope one more time, Raider Nation, that the team is going to do well, and then, we crash and burn. But you know what? We're not Raider fans. We're not part of Raider Nation because they win a Super Bowl every other year. We're part of Raider Nation because it's family, right?
Yeah.
The team doing well is icing on the cake, but if you ask me my honest opinion, and I didn't have to worry about jinxing us, I think we're going to do incredible things this year, and I am super, super excited. But even if they come out here and don't win a game, I'm still at that same level of excitement, man. How could you not be?
That's some good stuff, man. I get pumped up. I just talked to our good friend Eddie Borsilli a little bit ago. We went really in depth on the team, and it's good to talk about what we have going on there. But a lot of the excitement that's brewing up is not just the product on the field, but the product now, I guess, kind of in the streets outside of the stadium. So it's exciting to have our own new city with everything going on. Of course, this is something right now to kind of get our minds off of everything, and something to hopefully look forward to whenever things can get a little peaceful again and restored. And I look forward to what our new city here, I got it tagged on the side of my hat, Las Vegas, is going to bring for us. And shout out to you, Stage Door, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. We're excited as well.
Good stuff. John, thanks for joining me. Thanks for being a part of the show and contributing. And shout out to the chat. We're going to close this thing out, guys. It was a great show. Make sure you subscribe, like this video. Make sure you visit stagedoorcasino.com. And while you're there in Vegas, always stop by the place. Give them some Raider love. You go in there. I mean, John, how would you feel right now if any one of these chat members, they go walking through the doors of Stage Door and they just belch out the big old Raiders, huh? Are you guys cool with that?
You're getting a beer. You come in my place, you start yelling Raiders like that, man, I'm buying you a beer or a shot. You pick.
There it is. There it is. Shout out to the chat. You guys know what to do whenever you walk up to Stage Door. But good stuff. We're going to close this thing out. But like I said, like, subscribe, do all the things, leave the rating, review. I don't know. I don't do all the fancy, written script stuff. But you guys know what to do already. We will see you guys later.